This is a Sessions video tutorial, Drawing for Portraits.
When I start out a drawing, I'm working with two ways of thinking, two methods of drawing. The first one is drawing from what I see, which is basically a mechanical process. I'm a mechanical eye that is reproducing everything I see without judgment, without filtering. I'm working with large abstract shapes, trying to get the overall gesture and positioning down. Now the second way of thinking is drawing from what I know, which is what I know about anatomy, it's what I know about proportion. When you think of somebody like Michelangelo, they could do a drawing without consulting a model. Such was his understanding of human anatomy. Ultimately, I rely on the first. I try and draw from what I see rather than what I think. Mechanical reproduction is ultimately your goal. One place where I will use this preconceived knowledge, drawing from what I know, is what I'm doing right now. I have this rough canon of proportions that apply to most people, where the eye is roughly halfway on the head. So I'll indicate an axis of the eyes. Notice the slight offset. Her head is cocked a little bit. But that's about as far as I rely on that system at the beginning of the drawing. At the beginning, again, I try and work with large abstract shapes, which in this light source, with this strong one-directional light source, are pretty apparent. When drawing with this, drawing from what I see, the non-objective abstract way of seeing, I'm basically using two tools. One is plumb lines, exact horizontals and verticals. The other is measuring. Measuring is finding the distance from one feature to the other by breaking those distances in half and by doubling others. And by coming up with these units of measurement, you can then gauge the distances to other features. A lot of likeness is about the spaces between features rather than rendering the individual features. So these expanses of flesh are very important. When I measure, I hold the pencil at arm's length using the tip of my drawing instrument as one reference point, and I'll move my thumb along the shaft of the instrument and gauge the distance of, for instance, the corner of the eye, the inside corner of the eye to her chin. And then when I establish that, I'm going to move that unit of measurement upwards, and then compare that to the measurement of the inside corner of her eye to the top of her head. So I'll check it on the model first, and then I'll come to my picture, inside corner of the eye to chin, bounce that measurement up. I've got it not far off. There are these almost magical coincidences that happen all over a picture where one measurement will correspond very closely with another. For instance, I'm looking at the corner of her eye to the bottom of the chin. I bounce that measurement sideways, and it's almost the exact same distance on her as her hair to the outside corner of this eye. So right away, that measurement has been very helpful in establishing the height to width ratio. A teacher of my teacher in the Art Students League said that the model is the best teacher in the classroom because all the information that you need, the model has. Your ultimate goal is to draw from strict observation, from the idiosyncrasies of a face, the texture of skin, the way skin wraps around muscle. It's not something that can be theoretically figured out. You have to actually observe. Notice how I'm valuing the edges of shadows. I'm giving them as much importance and relevance as the actual markers showing the anatomy of the face. These shadow shapes, especially in expanses of flesh like this, help break the space down. I was talking about halves and doubling. You might find from the edge of the nose to the edge of the jaw, there's some shadow shape that will come in and break that up, maybe close to a halfway point that will make sense out of that area. You'll notice when I make enough passes over an area, the line gets fuzzy. The line width becomes very thick. So every once in a while, I'll have to take it out, erase, leave sort of a ghost image of what was there before, and hone it more specifically. I call these fuzzy lines. The ideal is you want the one correct specific line, and it never happens on the first try. Now, in certain places, my shadow lines, the lines dividing light from shadow, have gotten confused with anatomical markers, say the eyelash line. Things are getting a little confusing. So that's when I come in and I unify the shadow area. It just helps recover that simple design we're going after. Okay, my drawing needs further work, but I'm well on my way to creating a sketch to paint from later.
Did you like this video? Then subscribe today to stay up to date on our channel or follow us on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. Visit sessions.edu for more info on classes and admissions. Also, don't forget to check out the links to free downloadable content in the description. Thanks for watching.